Speaking of Nvidia, as the first AI stock, its popularity far exceeds OpenAI, which owns ChatGPT, and TSMC, the world's leading chip manufacturer, reaching $3.6 trillion at one point. This makes traditional chip giants AMD and Intel pale in comparison. Not to mention that Intel is in a difficult situation and faces the tragedy of being acquired. What is the concept of $3.6 trillion? It is equivalent to the GDP of India or ASEAN. The foundation on which Nvidia relies for survival is AI computing chips. So, is it really worth that much? Because the US currency is overissued and the US dollar debt has also hit a record high, the valuation of the US stock market has naturally risen. In 2017, Apple's market value exceeded $1 trillion, which was a big news that year. Nowadays, there are several companies with a market value of several trillion US dollars, and a slightly decent company has a market value of hundreds of billions of dollars. And the unicorns in Silicon Valley have valuations of tens of billions or even hundreds of billions of dollars before listing. Nvidia's price-to-earnings ratio is high, but considering the current situation of the US stock market, this is not an unacceptable bubble. After all, the revenue and profit are good. As a monopoly supplier of computing power infrastructure for the hottest industries, such a market value is acceptable. But this premise is that there is no huge bubble in the US stock market and the AI industry. So is it normal for American AI innovation companies to be valued at tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars? In fact, this question is easy to answer. That is, how much value they have created. In other words, how much expected value they have. In 2017, the US GDP was $19.6 trillion, and it is estimated to be $29 trillion in 2024, an increase of 50% in just 7 years. In 2017, Nvidia's market value was about $100 billion. And in 2018, it even fell below 100 billion, an increase of 30 times in 7 years. This is a rhythm that even people who have taken Viagra cannot achieve. German cars use turbocharging technology, and Americans use Indian magic oil instead of gasoline to drive wheels, which has achieved such high growth. In the past 7 years, the United States has not made any revolutionary productivity progress, and has also encountered an epidemic and has fallen into a protracted trade war with China. The traditional industrial technology of the United States has completely declined, and key industries such as automobiles and shipbuilding are completely behind the world's advanced level. The only thing that can be shown is the high-end chip and AI industry. Intel and GlobalFoundries, the chip manufacturing companies of the United States, can't even compete with TSMC, and even Samsung can crush them. In the past 7 years, Nvidia's market value has increased dozens of times just because it caught up with the explosion of virtual currency and AI industry. So, what kind of wealth has the AI industry in the United States created, bringing such rapid growth to the United States and Nvidia? So far, in addition to chatting and answering common-sense questions, AI assistants can also help organize documents, retrieve data, create some simple scripts, write entry-level code, extract text from speech, or convert text into speech, generate some not-so-realistic pictures, and short videos with weird deformations at any time. Yes, these are most of the functions of generative AI at present. These functions existed long before AI was hyped, and if the concept of AI was not mentioned, they would have progressed to the current state. For example, AI voice. Before the concept of AI was hyped, many TDS products had reached the level of usability. Now that they are blessed by the halo of AI, they have only achieved the effect of normal technological progress, and no revolutionary changes have occurred. In fact, ChatGPT, the flagship product of OpenAI, the current global AI technology leader, still cannot solve strange common-sense errors and cannot work competently in a stable state. OpenAI's video model Sora can only produce relatively short videos under specific prompt words. its picture stability and consistency problems cannot be solved at all. Not only ChatGPT, but also star products such as Claude and Midjourney have all stopped at the stage of only being able to make a few good-looking demos and being completely unpractical. In addition to helping programmers generate functional code, helping clerks organize document formats, and replacing junior operators in call centers and other simple application scenarios. The generative AI that Americans have hyped up has not yet created any application scenarios that change human life. However, American companies have received valuations far beyond common sense. In fact, this is the evil result of the United States printing more money and issuing more treasury bonds. Due to the rapid decline in the ability to create wealth, the United States cannot compete with industrial powers such as China, and can only transfer economic crises to developing countries and Western allies by printing money, and reap the fruits of other countries' labor. However, the more money printed, the less it reaches ordinary people, and all of it is obtained by Wall Street, Silicon Valley upstarts, and the military-industrial complex. The United States has few real industry to invest in, so this money can only be used to instigate wars and produce a large number of arms. Or it can be used to hype technology concept stocks so that Wall Street and Silicon Valley upstarts can share the profits. We can simply list the concepts that Americans have recently hyped and finally failed to come to fruition. For example, virtual currency, which claims to replace traditional currency, is like a huge casino that has bankrupted countless people. Crazy mining wastes a lot of electricity but does not create any real wealth. Once quantum chips make a breakthrough, the algorithm foundation of virtual currency can be destroyed in an instant. For example, the metadata which claimed to replace of the real world. Zuckerberg even changed the company to Meta, but what was the result? In addition to adding a few dusty headsets and controllers to the homes of enthusiasts, no value was created. Now Americans have begun to hype AI, making Nvidia, a graphics card company that was once on the verge of bankruptcy, to a global leader with a market value equals to the GDP of ASEAN. Isn't this ridiculous enough? What's even more ridiculous is that the CUDA ecosystem on which Nvidia relies is essentially an AI toolkit, a collection of APIs. It is just an accelerator for the popular transformer architecture, and it is not irreplaceable. Whether transformer is the correct answer to AI is still undecided. Judging from the actual situation of the current AI industry, it is very likely not. Huawei will mass-produce China's AI computing chips to challenge Nvidia. In addition to continuing to try the transformer architecture, Chinese AI scientists will also try classic AI directions such as bionics. The United States has already bet everything on the current technology route, and it is difficult to turn back. Once the current AI route is considered wrong, the United States will lose everything. In my opinion, Nvidia's bubble is big, and the US bubble is even bigger. Top one country betting on such an immature industry, let alone the wrong bet, will suffer heavy losses. Even if it is right, if progress is slow. Before AI becomes popular, the United States will be defeated by Chinese industry first. What's the point?